The following is a production of the Dallas Genealogical Society. For more information, please visit our website at dallasgenealogy.org.
Can everybody see my screen? Are we good to go? Ann says we're good to go. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm Stephanie Bennett. I'm the manager of the genealogy and history floor here at the Dallas Public Library. And I am joined by Ed Boehringer. He is our German genealogy expert, and we are going to co-present this program together. How we've worked it out is I'm going to talk, and Ed is going to pronounce all the German words that I'm going to butcher. So that's how we're going to do it. I am so excited to be with y'all today. And we're going to talk about resources that the Dallas Public Library has for finding your German roots. All right. Since most of you are joining us online, I am putting visual images in here so that you can see our building in downtown Dallas's historic district. We are very lucky to have our building because we actually have 8 public floors. The building was actually built to be an adult research library. They shoved the children's section in there many years after it was built. But we are very lucky that we have an acre on each floor. Our building is one of the largest public library buildings in the United States. And what I really enjoy about our floor is that we actually, each floor specializes in a different subject specialty. And as you heard, we are the genealogy and history floor, dedicated to all things genealogy. And if you are ever able to come visit us, we now have free parking in our underground parking garage. And if anybody's ever parked anywhere in a major city, you know that that's very important to get down to us. If you also come to visit us, our building, while I am very partial to the 8th floor, and I know Ed is, we have a building full of treasures and art throughout the building, and we have other floors that specialize in things that you may have for your German research. Particularly, our 4th floor specializes in all things arts. If you're researching any German art, music, and movies, they have that there. We have a special 7th floor dedicated to all things Dallas and Texas research. We're one of the few libraries that has separate staff for local history versus genealogy, because as you'll learn, the genealogy floor is a worldwide collection, whereas our other Dallas history floor focuses more specifically on the local history. So our floor, the whole acre, is one of the top 10 genealogical collections in the U.S. If any of you are familiar with Lloyd Boxstrup, he built this collection to be what it is, to be international in scope. So it not only covers all of the U.S., but many countries throughout the world, including an excellent genealogical collection for Germany that will help most of our German folks here. And we offer free access to Ancestry Library, as well as many other genealogical databases. And I did not tell Ed this, but this is his spotlight slide. So surprise! We have experienced staff. Dallas Public Library believes in maintaining specialized experts to provide in-depth research services. So all of our staff here is trained in genealogical research. We have 80 plus years of combined research experience and subject specialty expertise. Ed is the person I would come to the library for if I was doing German genealogy research, because not only Is he fluent in German? But he has been researching since you were
Sixth grade.
sixth grade. And so I really feel like he has seen everything out there and can do pretty much anything. He's the one I go to for all my genealogy help. And so we're ready to assist you with your ancestral journey, whether that's a print book, whether that is something that we find you online, or if you just need advice about where to go next, we are here. If you are not aware, I pulled up these fun statistics just for this program. German ancestry is actually the most reported ancestry in the United States, according to the Census Bureau. These are current for German American Heritage Day, 2023. We've got about 41 million people in the US reporting German heritage. And so our wonderful genealogy collection reflects this because not only does Texas have a large population of German ancestry, but the whole US, and that's who we try and serve. One thing I've gotten from a lot of people is, well, you know, I researched a lot 20 years ago and I found all I want to find, or a lot of things are online now, and so I don't really need to come to the library. But the library is constantly getting new books. We get about 1,000 new books per year. And there's an emphasis now on materials that will actually help you understand your ancestors' lives, including local histories, social and cultural histories, and ethnic histories. And a lot of our program today is talking about what materials that we have to help you further your research. So we have regular updated series. The map guides to German parish records, which Ed has right here. Do you want to hold that up to the camera? The camera. You get 2 pictures of it.
I'm partial to Württemberg.
Do you want to say a couple things on that, or?
Well, the map guide is broken down into the various kingdoms or states or provinces of Germany. It's a very good series. It will lead you to the Oberamt, which is the upper office, Ober meaning upper, Amt meaning office, within a particular district. And it's divided usually up into Catholic and Protestant areas. And it will also give you the family search number of the roll of film for that particular locality that you're researching. So it's very important that you know where you're going, and it will guide you alphabetically to the particular volume and in the series.
And this is Bernard, and just a reminder, just a couple months ago, we did a presentation on this series, and that's one of our recorded ones available on the website.
Yes.
You beat me to it, Bernard. We also have the full set of the German Immigrants in American Church Records series, which Anne let us know that there is an upcoming program on that with the St. Louis Genealogical Society. So please make sure to check that out, because I really firmly believe that the German Immigrants in American Church Records series is a series that's widely overlooked, and it has such great resources in there. I think everybody should check it out. And for those of you joining us from Texas with German Texas roots, I want to let you know that we've just ordered the next 2 in this series, which cover German immigrants in Texas. So no, we have those on order, and as soon as we get them, they will be out. We also have a huge collection of Germanic lineage materials. And again, I'm going to pass that over to Ed to kind of tell you about, because it's very fascinating. I am just not the expert.
The Deutsches Geschlechterbooks. We've got virtually up to date on those. Now, the thing that you've got to remember about this particular series is that the people that are remaining in Germany are using this as kind of a registry. Occasionally, you will find an American or a South American or an Asian migrant from Germany or the Central Europe who will appear in the volumes. One of our volunteers from Family Search is going to Salt Lake City, and he needed a listing of potential sources. So we have that CD index of the Geschlechter books in our Heritage Lab that you can view and write down or copy or bring your disk so that you can view the actual pages. Now, rarely will you find Americans in here, but it is possible.
Fantastic. We also, as I've talked about, this is personally my favorite thing about our library resources, is we invest a lot of time finding ethnic and social histories. We have a new librarian with us, Kat Johnston, and what Kat says is that many times you're looking for information between the genealogical records. For instance, you might want something different. You can have a birth, death, and marriage, but what else is going to help you learn about what your ancestors' life is like? And we have tons of books that can help you with that. These are just a few of the very many. And you can find all of these and more in our library catalog. Here it is. Some search tips for using the catalog, because I think that we get very used to going to Family Search or going to Ancestry, and we type in a name and we've got records upon records upon records at our fingertips because everything is indexed by name. And when we get to that point where we can't find anything else, because we've all gotten to that point. I get to that point about 2 in the morning, and I'm like, there's nothing else out there. And that's your 2 in the morning talking to you, because there is more, and you can always learn more about your ancestors' lives. And that's part of, I think, the interest in genealogy is you're constantly learning and constantly reassessing what you found and putting those puzzle pieces together. And the library has a lot of great resources that can help with that. So some catalog search tips. We have, you want to do a broader search. You can search by family name. We have a large collection of family history books, just like this one that was just recently donated. But we do recommend that you search by a location and not just a name. And not just, for instance, if you know your German hometown, that's a place to search, but you also want to search very broadly, Germany as a whole. You also, if your ancestors settled in America, you want to search by where they settled and not just where your direct ancestors settled, but you might find something where a great aunt or uncle settled or what have you. So you want to do very broad searches. Some general search terms to get started with is searching for German and history or German and genealogy. Surprisingly, some things are indexed under German and history that are not indexed under German and genealogy. And so you want to search both because our lovely catalogers want to let you know that this is more history and this is more genealogy, and don't kind of double check those things. When we're going to see an example of this, but if you're looking for something in our library catalog, it's important to look at the branch location, where it's housed, and the shelf location. And you also kind of want to look at the status. Is this a book that it can be checked out? We have a number of guides to help you do research at home. And these are just kind of some things to look at before you come in, or if you are researching from home. So here I've done a search for German history books, and I've limited this. I only want to see what's in our department, but you can kind of see here that German history books are all over the library. If I added our history collection, which does circulate, it adds another 378 in there. The third floor, which is literature, adds another 140. Our fourth floor, which we talked about, has art, and that's another 81. So you can really kind of customize this to see what we've got. So I found a book that I'd like to take a look at, German Pioneers in Texas. So one thing I'm going to look at is I'm going to check the availability here. And it's going to tell me the call number for the book. It's going to tell me again that it's located on the 8th floor. It's going to tell me the shelf location, which is very important because most of our books are 900 number. And I find people wondering our stacks all the time, and they say, I'm looking for 929. That's the whole collection. That's a genealogy number. So you also want to check the status. For this particular book, this is non-circulating, meaning that you cannot check it out. It does stay here in the genealogy collection. But we'll see another example in a moment of something that you could check out. And we'll, that means you do have to come into the library to view it, or potentially contact us for copies through ILL, interlibrary loan, or through our genealogy email. One thing that I like to recommend, for instance, if you see a book like Fredericksburg, Texas, the first 50 years, and you think, why did this come up in a search for German history? Maybe you're not native to Texas. A lot of us who are know, of course, why. But for instance, you might click on this full display here, and you can see from this example that Fredericksburg, Texas is mentioned because they, one of the subjects is German Americans in Texas. So Fredericksburg is a large German settlement back in the day in Texas. And so what I like about this full display, and it's not just the librarian and me, is that it will not only let you know the subjects and sometimes a brief overview of the book and the German translation. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but there is the German title. But it's going to also tell you where all in the building this book is. So it's going to be in our local history department, our genealogy department, and look, here is a copy in our history department that you can check out with your Dallas Library card, or if you have a what we call a tech share card, which is a
Kind of a passport.
It is a Texas library card that you can get from your home library that lets you check out other things in libraries throughout the state, or you can potentially request that book through interlibrary loan. And the interlibrary loan is libraries worldwide. So those of you who are joining us internationally, there is a possibility for that. But I wanted to point out before we go on that for the genealogy section, if you're coming in to research with us, you may notice the shelf location says states, counties. And we're going to talk a little bit about how our collection is organized, but that's important to make note of. And if you take a look at the subject as well, there is a little notation that Fredericksburg is in Gillespie County, Texas.
Good Irish name.
Yes. So how is our genealogy collection organized? And there's a hint, it's by location for the most part. So in the library, we use a modified Dewey system. As we talked about, most everything is a 929, so that makes it pretty difficult to wander around and find that 929 that you're looking for. So we do a lot of things to help you out to find that 929. And one of those is those shelf locations that we are just taking a look at. And we put these fun labels on things like you see here to better organize the material for you by location. And what we're looking at right now is our Red River County section. If you were to come into the library and you are researching a particular county in Texas, you can actually walk to the section, find the little section alphabetically with labels, and see all your Red River County books all together. So we have an international section. This is organized loosely by continent and then by country. And the idea with that is to organize things where people speak similar languages together. And you'll find things in this collection related to general German genealogy. It's kind of a catch-all for all of your German research. You'll find things about specific resources in Germany, and just a huge collection of different resources. All of the books that Ed has spotlighted will be in our Germany section.
There's a whole series of different localities in the German Isles 19 and 20. And they will include areas like Oldenburg, the Rhineland Pfalz, Ostfriesenland, Württemberg, Baden, Alsace, and Pomerania. So aids can be found that can assist you once you've nailed down your ancestral village or town. So I particularly think that the map guides or the Atlantic bridges are helpful. The other day I ran across a volume that will help you. And this will allow you to look at the migrations from the old world to the new world. There's lots of maps in here, lots of documentary.
We're going to hold it up, guys.
Oh, okay. So train maps, it gives you a little vignette about German history from the early period migration patterns from Europe. So don't come into the collection and not know where your ancestor is coming from. You can utilize this as a training wheel to help you locate those areas.
And that's an illustration of a book that's in our oversized section. Big book. So, a lot of great resources there. One of the first things that I learned when I started at the Dallas Public Library, I actually started as an intern, and one of Ed's colleagues, now retired, told me, make sure that you research every single book for every single location to do an exhaustive search. And I always like to use that as an example. So if you have a German hometown or a German town of origin, use things like WorldCat to really search and see what all material is out there. While we would love for you to utilize things from our collection, you want to do an exhaustive search to see what resources are out there for your people. And don't forget, if you are tracing a U.S. Family that immigrated from Germany, you also want to check out, again, all those locations where your family settled in the United States. So that leads us to talk about our United States section. In this collection, we keep books across books about the whole U.S. or several states. Anytime a German immigrant might come to America, those books are there. Germans in specific locations that cover several states, those books are in there. And then we keep all of our catch-all. The U.S. section is kind of a catch-all for other books, including how-tos, things that don't have a specific locality. So we've got tons of books there as well. And then really our largest collection is going to be dedicated to books about states and books about counties. So each state has a general state section where you might find something like on Pennsylvania Germans. I actually did not get a chance to look at this Pennsylvania Germans and interpretive encyclopedia before I put it on this list, but I'm going to go look it up as soon as we're done and figure out what's interpretive. What's an interpretive encyclopedia? What does that mean? But you also, this is the fun part where you get to look at books that are grouped for a specific area. And you'll find things like Germans to Marion County, Ohio, and their ancestors, Cincinnati's German heritage, tons of different resources that are specific to the U.S. location. And these are all under cross-referenced with their counties. For instance, Cincinnati, you're going to find that with the Hamilton County books. That's where Cincinnati is. If anybody ever quizzed me on major cities and their counties, I would get a good score because we do label all of those for you. I did want to also mention our special collections is what I've chosen to call them. If you're researching a particular last name, I know there are a lot of adapted names from German to an Americanized version. We have large collections of surname books that will help you maybe determine what your original last name could have been. And then we have a pretty sizable biography section where you can also search for German biographies and maybe find a family connection in that area. But one of our really neat collections is our family history books. And these are books about one specific family or several interconnected families. These books are entirely donated to the Dallas Public Library. So if you are working on a family history book, we would love to have that donated and make it available to our researchers. I really do feel like this is our most requested item because, again, if you think about it, most of these are going to be self-published or have a private run of books published. And so they are very rare and People are always looking for those out of print ones. Anne just brought in a book called An American Genealogy, the Copeland family of Montgomery County, Kansas, to donate. And these are exactly the books we're looking for. So you'll find all kinds of things about German families in particular, and these are the books that you would search for the family names with. So do make sure to search in the catalog by the Henkel family or the Garman family. If you go to our website, we have our own dedicated page to genealogy. And every time I show it, I'm like, it's going to be updated soon. One day it will, I promise. But until then, we've got this. And some neat things that we have in our collection that I kind of wanted to spotlight is we have vertical family files, over 3,000, and a dedicated staff member to making sure they stay maintained. These vertical family files are donated files of research. So people who weren't able to publish a book, but they do have a lot of research that they want to leave. So we've actually got file folders, and you can look those up by surname. There is an index on our website, and you might think that these are files just specific to Dallas, Texas families, and that's actually not true. We take donations from anybody's family research. We just ask that you don't donate a whole file cabinet because we don't have room for that. But select items we definitely will take. We also have a family Bible collection that we are working on getting the images digitized. So if you have a family Bible with genealogical information and needs a good home, we are happy to take that as well. Other things on our website that you might enjoy, we have a new book collection. You want to see what new items we may have in stock, we add those items to the list. It includes donations and purchased items. Most of the items on this list don't circulate. You can't check them out. But for those of you that do want to check out, we do have a list of our circulating collection items that are specific to genealogy. The rest of the building you can check out materials from. So if you are looking for a German language book, what have you might find that on another floor in our building. But these materials are specific to genealogy and you can check those out. If you've got a Dallas library card or a TechShare card, you can place a request for the circulating books through this place a request process. If you are living far away from downtown, you can request that the book goes to your nearest branch library. We actually have 30 branch libraries throughout the library system. So hopefully if you're in the Metroplex, there is one nearer to you than us because we're kind of centralized. And then if you do make it down to see us, and because we have a book that does not circulate, we offer free scans and copies now. So free printouts, free paper copies, free scans. We do ask that you try and limit it to about 50 pages because paper is not free. While we do have our lovely Ed for translation help. I actually met with a Hispanic genealogy researcher last week who donates a lot of things in Spanish, and he said, you've got to make a sign that says that you can use Google Translate on the pages. And so I was like, yeah, we probably need to make a sign. So here's an example of what you can do with the phone in your hand. This is a page from German immigrants. And I was able to put my phone up against it and I'm at least able to make the words out of the German book. Let's say that, to where I can at least get the gist of it. And that helps a lot. Now, for things like the lineage books or things that have a lot of names and things in them, it's not going to be the greatest. But there are tons of technical things now that we have that can make your family history search easier. So make sure to ask us if you do visit us and come in. We'd love to plug you in and help you out. One thing to keep in mind as you are, if you're joining us from a location and you can't get down to the library, we are actually part of the Family Search book scanning program. We are the North Texas's Family Search book scanning hub. And what that means is that we have 2 Family Search volunteers who volunteer their time to come in and scan our genealogical materials that they are able and get clearance to scan for 40 hours a week. They work very hard. And since September 2018, and do keep in mind, we were closed for a good portion of that time, we were able to get over 5,900 of our books just from the genealogy department uploaded to Family Search in their book library. So many of our family history books that are out of copyright, things that you aren't going to find anywhere else, are in the Family Search book library. And so here's how you get to that. I put a little bit.ly in there for you. Somebody pointed out to me that you do, the bit.ly is cap specific, so you do need to get the capital letters in there. Otherwise, it won't go. But the Family Search Digital Library makes those books full text searchable, which is really neat. And it also lets you look specifically for books from each partner library who participates in the program. So you can just look at the Dallas Public Library books by clicking on the Dallas Public Library partner logo, as well as, the other libraries too that participate. The Clayton Library in Houston, of course, participates. Allen County in Indiana, of course, the Fort Wayne area. So a lot of great resources on there. There are 2 big family history books in my family on, let's see, the Tatum family, and both of those books are digitized on Family Search. It's very exciting. One thing to also keep in mind is that all of the Dallas Public Library branches and our central library are part of the Family Search Affiliate Library Record Program as well. So if you use our library computers, you can get to records that you won't be able to get to at home. So when Ed was talking about parish registers, specifically for Germany and different German locations, some of those are still going to be restricted records that you can't see at home. But if you visit your Dallas Public Library branch or another affiliate library in your area, you are able to see those records on your computer and possibly download them. Here's an example that I wanted to see this particular marriage in Virginia, and it told me I couldn't see the image from my home, when I'm researching in the middle of the night. And it told me I needed to access that image at a Family Search affiliate library. When it does say Family History Center, just a forewarning, because I've had somebody drive all the way here and say, I can't see these Irish records. We're not a family history center. Family history centers are provided by Family Search, specifically the LDS Church, and they are staffed by volunteers. Since we are a public library, we're an affiliate library. So before you come here, double check if you're unsure. That way we save you a drive. Another thing that I wanted to point out that I am really excited about right now is if you do have a Dallas Public Library card, we have a resource called Hoopla. And Hoopla actually provides ebooks, audiobooks, movies, music, and more. And it has a really excellent collection of nonfiction books. These are some examples here. A lot of U.S. books on specific locations like German influences in Louisville. A lot of social history books, different things that you can flip through, again, in the middle of the night as an ebook. Another thing that I thought would be interesting as well is if you were interested in learning German, pursuing a language, different things like that. They do have audiobooks as well as the Great Courses series is also available through Hoopla. So if you wanted to do a German course, you could do that. And you could also do the master class on the Introduction to Genealogy. Those are all available for free with your Dallas Public Library card. And I know that our wonderful German genealogy group of North Texas has the German programs covered for us, but I'd like to also invite you to our Dallas Public Library in-person and Zoom programs. We offer them every other Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Time. And we cover all kinds of different subjects from basic genealogy research to more specific ethnic groups and what have you. So make sure to check our website for upcoming events. There's also a bit.ly there if you are a bit.ly person. Make sure you write down those capital letters. I do apologize. I didn't know that when I was making them. And then we partner with the Dallas Genealogical Society for many of the programs, including this one right here. Most are available via Zoom if you can't get downtown. And our full calendars, both the Dallas Genealogical Society and the Dallas Public Library programs are available on dallasgenealogy.org. You can visit that for the full calendar. Another couple things I wanted to point out if you are in the area, we have a free preservation lab that you can use regardless of whether you have a Dallas Public Library card or not. You can scan, you can digitize, you can listen to audio, and we have tape players. We have a Super 8 film player. We have things that can take your slides. We have things that you can take your negatives. All we require is that you do a brief training and sign a waiver, and we can get you set up to digitize your family memories. We also have the full Adobe Creative Suite where you can create new things from your family memories. And for those of you who can't get downtown, we have gotten a traveling Vivid Pics memory station, which is a tiny scanner as opposed to the huge one. And this will be traveling throughout the Metroplex. And it is a scanner that will scan and then restore your photos. And then you can record a memory to go along with your photos. And while you may think that recording your voice isn't that important to you. And I say this as we're recording this session, and I do not like to hear the sound of my own voice. But I will say that you never know when your voice is going to be meaningful to somebody in your family or somebody who's going to come after you and want to know about that family picture. So it's important to record these things now. It's the new way of writing on the back of your photos. So a lot of great things with this traveling station. We have not gotten a full schedule of where it's going to be yet, but it's coming. We've also, if you've got a veteran, we have recently launched a Veterans Oral History Project. We record actually in this room a video of your firsthand experiences in the military. We've got a great staff person who is really passionate about this project. And we can record that so you can preserve it for future generations. Ed himself has just participated in one of these interviews, and it was a great experience for him.
Yeah. And our staff person has done a beautiful job of asking the proper questions about your service and eliciting your responses. So I can't say enough good about this. One of my other colleagues has also been a member of this project, and it's really outstanding.
Right. And you can learn more about that from our website, which I'm going to show right now. We're ready for any questions. I'm sure that you don't have them for me, but I offer you Ed.
One of the questions was, how do I access Hoopla?
You can get to Hoopla from, it's an app that you install. You can install it on a tablet, phone, or other mobile device. With your Dallas Public Library card, you would log in through there. And if you visit dallaslibrary.org, it should be a button on the front page about it where you can get more information. One second, I'll tell you specifically what the button says. Oh, yes, it specifically says Hoopla. So dallaslibrary.org. And then there is a blue button on the website that says Hoopla, which will give you more information than me just.
It'll prompt you.
Yes.
Does anybody else have a question?
This is Bernard, and just a reminder, there is a handout to accompany this presentation. Link to it's available on the website, and during the presentation I saw it was placed in the chat as well.
Hey, anybody else? You guys did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, so when will be available to see the video? The recording of this should be on our website Monday-ish, Tuesday, maybe.
Are you going to take out all my Am?
No.
No?
Editing.
Okay, anything else? Well, thank you very much. I'm going to stop recording theoretically here.
This has been a production of the Dallas Genealogical Society. If you're already a member, thank you. Your fees have been supporting these and other society activities. If you're not yet a member, please consider joining now. Go to dallasgenealogy.org and click on the membership tab.